Sisyphus was the king of Corinth. He was known for being a trickster and a cheater of death. Zeus ultimately punishes this king by the eternal task of pushing a boulder up a hill, which rolls back down once he reaches the top of said hill. I quote from Homer's The Odyssey, where he wrote, "Then I witnessed the torture of Sisyphus as he wrestled with a huge rock with both hands. Bracing himself and thrusting with hands and feet, he pushed the boulder uphill to the top. But every time, as he was about to send it toppling over the crest, its sheer weight turned it back, and once again towards the plain, the pitiless rock rolled down. So once more he had to wrestle with the thing and push it up, while the sweat poured from his limbs and the dust rose high above his head." How can we apply Sisyphus' story to our own life? Let's talk about happiness. We all strive to be happy in our lives because it's an obvious signal that life is going well. But is that truly what happiness means? Do people feel happy when they take drugs or when they accomplish something they have been working on for years? Both are true. So what does that mean about happiness? To me, I see it as a tool that can be understood for what it truly is, or mistakenly assumed to be the natural state of life. For those who believe it to be the natural state of one's life, they often don't realize happiness is temporary. This could be due to our brain's physiology of being a cyclic machine that runs through the spectrum of emotions, for each emotion is a signal to our consciousness of our state of being. What is happiness? Is it that rush of euphoria after a hit of THC? Is it dopamine reaffirming the importance of what you're doing at that moment in time? Or is it serotonin allowing you to modulate your emotions, especially the negative ones? Whatever happiness is, it is not an emotion we should feel for eternity. It is easy to let happiness consume our lives and blind us from the base of reality, which is endless suffering. That might sound a bit pessimistic or nihilistic, but we should realize that we do suffer until we finally pass on from this world. This is what we see from people addicted to drugs. Happiness keeps them from seeing that their substance abuse is actually causing them more suffering in their life, which brings you back for more to be able to reach the comfort of happiness again. This is where the story of Sisyphus can teach us about how to understand life. Just like running away from our own suffering by using substances, reaching our goals, or even being in a relationship, Sisyphus pushes the rock up for eternity. Yet what he finds is the rock will always fall back down. Why does he keep pushing? Why, if he knows his efforts are fruitless? Just like Sisyphus, we humans believe that our goals, material things, drugs, sex, and other things that fill us with joy, our conceptual boulders, will make our life complete. Yet we always realize once we attain what we want, that it is not enough to make our life complete or meaningful. Our happiness is attained, but like the rolling rock of Sisyphus, it eventually fades away, and we realize our reality of internal struggle. I would take away from this story that we humans should follow Sisyphus, and that even though we know that at the top of that hill, struggle and suffering is waiting for us, we should never give up pushing our individual boulders up that hill of life. Only we should change our aim from happiness to the aim of creating good in the world by improving ourselves and helping others, because happiness does not always correlate to good outcomes for the world and your own life. Together we can push onward, accepting our eternal punishment put forth by the Zeus of our frontal cortex and physiology, and push up towards constructing a world full of appreciation for being able to play the game of life, rather than a world where we all push for the seductive feeling of happiness, where we are blinded and susceptible to great destruction and unable to comprehend why we are never satisfied. Let me be clear. I am not saying happiness isn't a positive emotion, which is implied in itself. I am simply expanding our thoughts on how to use happiness as a productive force. If we have a psychophysiological system that rewards us for doing something that makes us feel a sense of well-being, then we need to strive to aim our goals to constructive endeavors. For if we don't, we will be pushing our boulders up a hill of suffering and hell, rather than enjoying our eternal task by building a sense of accomplishment and meaning. Once we realize we are never going to reach complete happiness, then we can start to choose our attitudes towards our endless efforts towards the top. Will you be a virtuous Sisyphus that pushes onward and faces the chaos of the universe? Or a Sisyphus who laments and curses the very reality that we have no power over? Thank you.